Cynthia Hurd found that grace. Susie Jackson found that grace. Ethel Lance found that grace. The Payne Middleton doctor found that grace. Tywanza Sanders found that grace. Daniel L. Simmons Sr. found that grace. Sharonda Coleman Singleton found that grace. Myra Thompson found that grace.
All 9 of the victims of that horrific racist terrorist attack last week. President Obama honoring all 9 of them, also echoing the emotional theme of the last week, the remarkable showing of the ability of individuals in Charleston to turn that ugly hate into love.
Blinded by hatred, the alleged killer could not see the grace surrounding Reverend Pinckney and that Bible study group. The light of love that shone as they opened the church doors and invited a stranger to join in their prayer service. The alleged killer could have never anticipated the way the families of the fallen would respond when they saw him in court in the midst of unspeakable grief with words of forgiveness. He couldn't imagine that.
President Obama joined by thousands of mourners, including, of course, First Lady Michelle Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, as well as a bipartisan group of high-level members of Congress and presidential candidate, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, all of them there to celebrate the life of a man whom many of them, including President Obama, knew, Reverend Pinckney, while also carefully continuing the conversation started earlier this week about racism in America.
Maybe we now realize the way racial bias can infect us even when we don't realize it. So that we're guarding against not just racial slurs, but we're also guarding against the subtle impulse to call Johnny back for a job interview, but not Jamal.
CNN's Martin Savage was inside the funeral service. Martin, describe for us what it was like to be inside that place today as the president gave this very moving eulogy.
Well, it was extremely remarkable, I have to say, and probably one of the most moving speeches, although it's a eulogy that the president has given. It was clear he'd been working on this all week long, and he incorporated so many different themes that have raced through America in the aftermath of this horrible tragedy down here in Charleston. And grace was the predominant theme, and it wasn't just